Hello, hello, hello. You are now live with Dave Jose. I'm going to try to put my earpiece in. I'm going to need you guys to let me know if the earpiece is making sound or not. There are people nearby talking that have some loud stuff going on, and I don't want to interrupt video with their loudness. So I need you guys to let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to throw in my earpiece, which has a microphone, and you guys can let me know if you can hear me or not. But today we are going to do an amazing video. It is called A Tyrannical Governor's Worst Nightmare. And I'm going to tell you that a tyrannical governor's worst nightmare is the people learning the truth, because they only get away with this foolishness when we don't know what our rights are. And once we know what our rights are, the junk kind of goes in the trash that they're doing. But the goal is, and one thing that you'll notice is there's not a lot of attorneys coming out right now telling the truth about what our rights are, or they want to talk about some type of extreme power or something that the governor gets or whatever when things are crazy, or when they're worried about welfare and security or whatever. Guys, that's a hoax. There is no extreme power that a governor has over the people when the people don't want to be part of what the freak they're talking about. It doesn't exist. Now, yes, and we are recalling Doug Ducey in Arizona. Some people are highly upset that the truth is coming out, but it's game over for anybody. For any governor who wants to freaking lie to the people. We're going to expose some stuff that's going to break them freaking down, right? It's going to break them down. And the thing is that they hope that the people don't learn the truth, because the Bible tells you that the truth shall make you free. It doesn't say set you free in like the King James or any of the older versions. It says it shall make you free. So the moment you start learning the truth, it forces upon the reasonable mind. Forgive me if the sound goes off, guys, or the picture. I'm trying to untangle this cord. The reasonable mind automatically starts to see the truth and wants to stand up and fight because they realize they're wrong. So let me pray real quick, and then we're going to party. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. I just stuck in some headphones. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please give me thumbs up, a like, or something. I didn't start sharing the video yet. Can you guys hear me? I just put headphones in. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're getting ready to put out the most exceptional and powerful video you probably ever seen on rights, on the power of a governor, on the trust agreement. Now, many of you guys might not know this, but I'm going to tell you because you guys are that important. The Constitution is what's called a trust indenture, okay? It's a trust indenture. And what happens is, in a trust indenture, you have to grant authority to persons who are going to take the positions that you give them. Now, I want you to understand two things as we get this done. One thing I want you to understand is that there's a different, and I'm adding some people on if you see that you can't hear me. That I'm not focused all the way. You have what's called the public and private, and then you have what's called people and persons. The people are the ones who granted the authority in the Constitution. Persons are the ones who took positions under the power of the Constitution. They decided to hold some office, some political status in politics. They decided to be servants for the people. So people and persons are not the same thing. So you can have people who are creating a constitution or starting a company. Persons or personnel would be the people inside of the corporation. Okay, so I'm going to invite a few more people on, then we're going to get real busy, guys. We're going to break down all of this fraud that the governors are doing. We're going to show how they don't have the power to do what they're doing. We're going to show how many attorneys are hiding the truth because they don't want to lose control of the people, because the people have been taught the Constitution backwards. Now you have the private and you have the public. A church that is not 501c3 is in the private. If the government tries to trick the church into becoming public, they make them 501c3, so they are partnering with the state. But they do it without full disclosure, guys. People say, well, I don't want to have to pay taxes on church money, so I became 501c3. A church is already private. Okay? A religious institution is already private. A house of faith is already private. Any private membership associations are private. The bar is private. It's not government, guys. The bar association is not the government. Any foundations usually are private. Okay? You have these groups of private people who the government will tell you, we can't stop CPS from doing what they're doing to you because we don't have the power to. CPS is working in the private as a private corporation, and that's why the government officials are having a problem, because the government officials they try to excuse it, removes them from their jurisdiction, and they will tell you. Now, there's a difference between private and public. The government is trying to get you to act like you are a public officer, not a private man or woman, right? Now, some people are going to say, David, you sound dumb. This sounds crazy. There's no way that this could be possibly nobody taught me this in school, therefore it can't be true. If this was true, some attorney would tell me. If this true, Dr. Fauci would told me, Bill Gates would have told me all this bull crap, right? This is how people stay slaves, because when somebody tries to tell them the truth, they're not ready to hear it, okay? Am I cutting out real bad, guys? Okay, so what I'm going to do, audio is messing up. So they're trying to tear up my audio. See if you guys can go out and come back in and see if it helps the audio. Sometimes that helps. But understand that they know that I'm bringing some fire right now. It happens when you're speaking. Is it only happening when I'm speaking? Let me take out one earphone. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Let me see if I take these hit. Okay, it's okay now. So I took one earphone out, so maybe I'm getting feedback. Okay, so I'm better now. Okay, so guys, what I want you to realize is that what I'm getting ready to show you guys is going to blow the back out of every governor across the freaking nation who's deciding to be tyrannical. Is going to show you why we have to be on these people and why we have to expose the truth. Because these people are trying some sneaky games, and I want to make sure that we understand the foundation and what our forefathers told us to make sure that things are going the way that we need them to. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go to a picture to show you one of the first Declaration of Rights in the Arizona Bill of Rights. And this is why the Patriot Act is nothing compared to the Constitution. So let's focus on the Constitutions, because these people will write permission slips for themselves, and usually it doesn't apply to us. And we believe it applies to us, so we just accept it. So let me show y'all something. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if you have any problems. Okay, so right here, I'm going to show you guys an image. This is from the Declaration of Rights of Arizona, Section 1, Fundamental Principles. This is why we have to have this discussion. Everybody in Arizona, everybody in every other state in the United States of America must have this discussion because of this. So we look here, it says, right here, a frequent recurrence to fundamental principles. Now, the fundamental principles are the basics of the law that comes from the Constitution. If we don't look at these fundamental principles, something bad will happen. What? What is that? A frequent recurrence to fundamental principles is essential to the security of individual rights. Now, the whole purpose of government is to protect our individual rights, not the rights together collectively as a whole, but their duty goes all the way down to individual rights. If I have a right as a man individually, right? If I have the rights as a man individually, it is their job to protect it. And the perpetuity of a free government, meaning the government is not making people slaves. Now, if we don't go back to fundamental principles, the government will likely try to make the people slaves. Now, the problem we're having is that you guys are attacked all the time by lawyers and government officials and the news. They keep telling you that the government has the power to suspend the Constitution in rough times and all that bull crap. And they try to tell you what the government has the power to do and what the governors have the power to do. The only problem is that they're lying to you about what the government has the power to do. And I'm going to prove it to you. Now, what I want you to realize is that all political power is not inherent in persons. Persons are the ones who work for the corporation. Persons are the ones who take a position to work for the people as government officers and servants. Okay, not your leaders. Stop lying. Stop letting it come out your mouth that these people are your leaders. If you have all the political power, you are the leaders, and the government workers just handle your business. They are not your leaders, okay? They are not your leaders. Now I'm going to show you to prove it to you guys, because it's not about what I can say, it's about what we prove, so that all of you guys have a foundation to stand on. So let's see. So as we see, this is Ballotopia, and this is Section 2 of the Arizona Declaration of Rights. Now watch this, guys. This is going to get really deep. No, there is nobody in this nation that can refute what I'm saying. Watch this. All, not some, all political power is inherent in the persons. That's not what it said, right? It did not say the persons. It said in the people. Now watch this, guys. This is going to show you something, and I'm going to show you where the government tricks you when they make you think you're the governed. You are not the freaking governed. Watch. And governments derive their just powers. So if governments can derive or get just powers from somebody, right? That also means that they can steal unjust powers. Because what they get from the governed is what's called just powers. But watch this. Governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. Now, what do they mean, consent of the governed? Does that mean consent of the people? Consent is when you agree to something. The people grant authority and power in the Constitution. They say, we declare that there shall be the office of a judge and the judiciary. We declare that there shall be a legislature. We declare that there shall be an executive branch. Notice that they get their offices created by the people, but they derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. So the people would not be the governed. The people would be the ones who hold all political power at all freaking times. So if the government officials decide to do wrong, the people can remove that power. But there are people who also consent to working for the government, who decide to apply to get a job with the government. Then they decide to take an oath of office by their own free will and consent. And then when the government offers them the position, they accept it and agree to be governed by the government. Watch this. And are established to protect and maintain individual rights. That's what's called a republic. Everybody's rights are to be protected. Not those who vote and win the popular vote. This ain't a democracy. You don't get to make a vote and say, okay, we're going to trample these people's rights on this side this year. And now and next year, it's the other group's turn to trample everybody else's rights. No. Everybody's rights are to be protected at all times, and that is the sole purpose of the government. If they're not protecting your rights, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Now, people are saying, oh, well, they have the power to suspend the Constitution and suspend our power to work because the government has all the power. No, the people have all the power. Now, I'm going to show you something about this general welfare and all that stuff that they use to say that they can take your rights and all that stuff. I'm going to show you how it's a trick. I'm going to prove to you that the people actually have the power to work and do their business and provide for their family just like God told them to in the Bible at all freaking times. You having your business shut down by government workers means that they're restricting the rights of the people rather than restricting the abilities of persons. Persons who consent to be governed by the government because they take jobs with the government and become personnel of the government, they can have their abilities restricted. Now, I'm going to prove to you that the people cannot have their rights restricted. It is impossible. You cannot remove the rights of the people. Let's see if David Jose is lying. Guys, share this with everybody. This is one of the most important videos ever to getting people to see their rights and to get people to stand up and see what is true. They cannot take your ability to work, guys. Watch this. I'm going to prove it to you now. So you know I'm not just making this up. So this is from the Missouri Constitution in the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights are applicable to every single state. The rights of the people are the rights of the people no matter where you are in the United States of America. As a matter of fact, the United States accepts every single state's Bill of Rights, Declaration of Rights, and Constitution and gives it full faith and credit anywhere in the freaking country. Okay? So don't play the games. Now, how's it going, Banner? Watch this. Promotion of general welfare, natural rights of persons, equality under the law, purposes of government. Watch this. Watch this. That all constitution and government is intended to promote the general welfare of the what? People. General welfare of the people means to make sure that everybody's good, everybody's okay, nobody's being harmed, and nobody's rights are being trampled. That does not mean that they could tell you what to do or they govern you as the people. Watch this. Notice they changed the words now. That all persons have a natural right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness and the enjoyment of the gains, making wealth of their own industry. Hold on now. That all persons have a natural right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness and enjoyment of the gains of their own industry. Now, they tricked y'all. They said, how many of you are working essential jobs? Well, if the Constitution says that all persons have a natural right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and enjoyment, excuse me, of the gains of their own industry, that means that it is imperative and the natural right of everyone to enjoy the gains of their own industry. Now, if it is your right to, it is your 100% guaranteed right, and everybody please share this. Share this in the group that is the Recall Doocy 2020 so everybody can see this. If it is your 100% guaranteed right in the Bills of Rights to have the enjoyment of the gains of your own industry, right, and that all persons are created equal and are entitled to equal rights and opportunity under the law, right, and that to give security to these principles is the principal office of government. That's it. How the freak are they not able to do their only job? Now watch this. And that when government does not confer this security, it fails in its chief design. Guys, they've been telling you that the government is designed to take your rights, take your property, to make you do what they want you to do, to make you follow them, to make you give them homage, right? And to go worship these government officials, right? But it says that their only purpose is to make sure they protect your individual rights, make sure you're happy, make sure that you can have life, liberty, and the right to make gains at your own field of work, your own freaking employment. You have the inherent right to freaking work your business and make freaking money. How the freak are they telling you you're not able to make money because it's non-essential? The way they did it was to sway you from talking about your right to work at your business and getting you to talk about, okay, guys, let's negotiate a little bit. What businesses are essential and what are not? If I'm a freaking American and I have a right to work my business, every single job is freaking 100% imperative and guaranteed for me to be able to work in my field and make money 100% freaking period. Y'all should be sharing this with everybody, guys. This is the most important thing that we can see in these days, because people are going to jail because they don't know this. People are being arrested. Officers are freaking arresting people because they don't realize that they're breaking the laws and committing felonies themselves. These videos need to go to every freaking officer. Every man and woman in the country needs to see it. All of the people need to know their freaking rights. Share the video. Share it on your wall. Tell everybody to drop everything and watch, guys. This is our chance to be completely free. We got people standing up. When they know that they can stand up on the right side of the law, they will take their rights back. So let's take our rights back and get rid of all these agencies stealing our rights and property and start all over. Oh, screw freaking Ducey working with Gates with his silly self and all that stuff. I'm pissed now. Now I'm going to show y'all something else. Who wants to see that there's a difference between the private and the public? Your home is in the private. Your church and foundations are in the private. The law, the government does not have the right to enter into your private affairs. Your family is private. CPS coming to take your kids is trampling the private. Them telling you you can't work. As one of the people and not a government employee, you are able to work. That is your private business, your private affairs, and they have no right to tell you you can't work. Now, I'm going to prove it to you by showing you what the private is, and then I'm going to explain to you and let you see that the government can only make rules or limit the government officials, their personnel, not the private people. I'm going to prove it to you. This is why we're getting in a lot of trouble. When you allow these clowns to start calling you what they are and then making you think they are what you are, then they end up taking your rights and trampling you and doing you wrong. Here it is. I'm going to show you guys. So this is the private. Watch this. Section 8 of the Arizona Declaration of Rights. That's the Declaration of Rights is number 2, and this is Section 8. Watch this. No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs. They shouldn't be disturbing the church. The church is freaking private. Notice it says, or his home invaded. Private affairs, you going to work and doing your own business is your private affairs and your freaking right. Notice that's separate from his home invaded. They should not be invading your home talking about, let's see who don't have their COVID papers. Let's see who took a vaccination. Let's see who did this or that. Thank you, Devin. I love you, bro. Hello, Stacy. Now watch this. Or home invaded without authority of law. There is no law that says that CPS can invade the private. The Declaration of Rights says that no person shall be disturbed in his private affairs. That's why if you go look at the law ASFA, the Adoption and Safe Families Act that everybody's scared of that Hillary Clinton made, it says that nobody should be inappropriately disturbed in their private affairs, their private homes. They're telling the CPS workers, you can't go into people's private house taking people's kids. But the silly bar attorneys don't tell the CPS workers that, the police that, the people don't know that, so the people just open the door and let them in because some dumb CPS worker said, you got to let me in your house. You got to tell me everything I want to hear, and you got to do what we tell you to do and jump through hoops if you ever want to see your kids again. No. No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs. Nobody. Now, this is talking about persons, right? So you got people who work for government who are persons, and you can't even disturb them when they're off the clock in their private affairs. Okay? So when a government official goes home, the government can't go and just raid his house without law, authority of law. You can't go interfere with his private affairs. If he got a business where he sells chicken on the side of the road and is his private affairs, you can't go interrupt with it. If his name is Josh Barnett, and Josh Barnett decided to open a private membership gym club and have members pay membership fees, and they can just come there and work out as much as they want to take care of the health of the people, to fight against evil things like diseases and COVID, they can't mess with Josh's private gym if everybody comes together in the PMA. Now, I'm not just going to say this stuff because I'm a nobody. I'm just a man. What I'm going to do is show you, and nobody is going to be able to deny what I'm telling y'all. There ain't no attorney out there who can come fight me with a constitution in his hand. I will crack his head and embarrass him because I will use the law. Yes, we're going to get our kids back. All of us are going to get our kids back because they broke the law to take them. They just don't know we know. Or many of us didn't know. See, some of y'all are very strong, powerful people, and nobody ever told y'all this, so you can't stand the way that you're supposed to. But we going to teach them some act right, right? Like the people down south used to say, we going to give y'all some act right. We going to show y'all how to act right. We're going to show y'all how to see the law and use it. Watch this. Now, this is from Arizona Constitution, Section 3, in the Declaration of Rights. Now, watch this, guys. I told y'all that there's a difference between persons and people, right? Now, if I'm lying, I can't support what the freak I'm saying. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same Constitution I hit y'all with a second ago to prove to y'all what the private is and what the public is and who they have the power to restrict. Now, they're telling y'all you can't exercise the functions of your job. You can't make money. Your business is non-essential, right? Ain't that what the freak they're telling y'all? So they're trying to restrict your business, which I just showed y'all you have a right in your private affairs to make money at your own profession. And nobody can take it from you. That's one of your fundamental rights, like raising a family, being married, owning a business, freaking raising your children, right? That's some of your fundamental liberty interests. Remember, if you don't go back to the fundamentals and show these people that they're trampling your rights, then they can do it and they're going to continue to run you over, and you will lose the power to have a free government, a free state. They'll turn on the people and make the people slaves. So let me help you all see something. I'm going to go to the Constitution of Arizona and show you, look closely, where there's a difference between the people and the persons who work in government. And they don't have the power to restrict the people. They only have the power to restrict the persons in government. Let's look at the facts. Ballotopia, once again, guys. Text of Section 3, Supreme Law of the Land. Watch this. Supreme Law of the Land. Authority to exercise sovereign authority against federal action. Use of government personnel and financial resources. Use of government personnel and financial resources. Watch this. The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land, which all government, state and federal, is subject. Oh, shucks. Hold on, guys. Are the people held down by the Constitution? No, you didn't sign an oath to it to be a follower of it and to uphold it. But who does it apply to? The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land, which all government, okay? All government, state and federal, is subject to the Constitution. So if there's a promise in there or a guarantee that you can't take my rights, that means that the government, state and federal, must observe it, and they are the ones who are bound by it, right? They are the ones who are bound by it. Now, watch this, guys. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me? If the video froze, go out and come back in. I'm going to go back to another photo. Oh man, I hope I can see it. I might have to go into the Arizona Constitution to get it because it might have got cut off. I'm going to show y'all something. Now, remember it says that the government... Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Here it is. Watch this. Now, what we're going to do is look at Section B after it says that the federal and the state and federal government is subject to it. Watch this. And federal is subject. So y'all can see this is the same context what I was reading. This is Section B. Watch this. To protect the people's freedom and to preserve the checks and balances of the United States Constitution, this state may exercise its sovereign authority to what, guys? To what? To restrict the actions of its what? Did it say of the people? Can you restrict the actions of the freaking people? Is that what it said? Is that what it said, guys? I need somebody to talk to me right here. Because they're telling you they could take the people's rights away under the Constitution. No, the only authority they have is to protect the people's freedom. So if the people's freedom is in jeopardy and they need to preserve the checks and balances of the United States Constitution, this state may exercise its sovereign authority to do what? To restrict the actions of its personnel. Not the freaking people. Their job is to protect the people's freedom. You can't remove the people's freedom and say all government workers stay at work. They're telling y'all all government workers get a paycheck and stay at work. And then we're going to take the people's freedoms and say you can't go to your own parks. You can't breathe. You can't work. You can't do this. They're keeping their paychecks. Y'all see this? Do y'all freaking see this? Let's look again. Let's break it down slowly now, y'all. Because ain't no attorney going to be able to fight me on this. Ain't nobody in the nation going to be able to come and rebut what the freak I'm saying. And this is why you need to share it with everybody all over. To protect the people's freedom. So their purpose is to protect your individual rights. Every single one of you. Not half of you. Not part of you. Not some of you who vote for the majority. Not if you're Republican or Democrat. Every single one of the people's individual rights are to be protected at all freaking times. Every one of you. This is Arizona, but I'll take you I'll take you across the country and smack them with every single constitution. They really don't freaking want it. And the bills of rights apply to every single state, guys. They are the people's rights no matter where you go. Watch this. Just because they reading your constitution doesn't approve it. Watch this. To protect. The only reason you can stop anybody from working, that's a government official, because you can't do it to the people, is to protect the people's freedom. So if a dummy is in the legislature going against the people, you can remove them, period, because your whole duty is to protect the people's rights. Yes, this is the Declaration of Rights in Arizona. To protect the people's freedom and to preserve the checks and balances of the United States Constitution, the state may exercise its sovereign authority. What the freak is their sovereign authority? Oh, their sovereign authority is to protect the people's freedom. Watch this. To restrict the actions of its personnel. Who signed up with them, y'all? The persons who took the oath to sign on a dotted line. You know, those federal and state employees who said that they will follow the Constitution and be subject to it? Yeah, that's them. That's the ones I just told you guys about. Their sovereign authority only gives them the power to restrict the actions of its personnel. The government is the its. Watch this. To protect the people's freedom and preserve the checks and balances of the United States Constitution, this state, okay, so that's the its. This state may exercise its sovereign authority to restrict the action of its personnel. Only state personnel are restricted, period. Okay? They can't tell you you can't work if you're not a state employee. They can't tell you that they're going to confiscate financial earnings from you if you're not a freaking state employee. Let's see if I'm telling the truth. And use of its financial resources. Its financial resources, not the people's. Not the people's, okay? Are we getting this, y'all? Watch this. To purposes that are consistent with the Constitution by doing any of the following. Passing an initiative, a referendum, pursuant to Article 4, Part 1, Section 1. Passing a bill to Article 4, Part 2, and Article 5, Section 7. Pursuing any other available legal remedy. Notice I don't say lawful remedy. They don't have the power to tell you you can't freaking work. And I don't care if your Constitution don't say it. You want me to prove to you that even if your Constitution don't say it, you're still protected? Watch this. Let me show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all some fire. See, they don't really want it. They don't really want this. They want to punish the people, but they don't realize that there's people out there who give up everything in their life to stop these people. Now, some of y'all going to say, well, I don't see that written in my Constitution. I don't see that on my pages. So how can I use that as one of the rights for me as one of the people? Because you have an inherent right. You have an inherent right as one of the people to be protected. Okay? To be, the only purpose of government is to serve you. Look, they are servants, right? Like back in the day when the servants used to get down on their knees and prepare freaking water to wash the feet of their masters. That is their job. Okay? That's what a public servant is for. To handle your affairs, to make records of your papers, who you get married to freaking provide services and benefits to you. Nothing freaking else. Not to punish you or enslave you or tell you you can't work. They don't have that authority. Where did they get that from? The Constitution is what grants their power and authority. If it ain't in the Constitution, don't let them trick you with some other piece of paper called a doctrine, Parents Patriae doctrine. We have the power under the state police power to take your kids. How the freak you got that power when the law says that we have the power to remove you whenever we freaking feel like it, and your police? You don't have the power to use your police to take something from one of the people without due process of law. Even if I'm a person, you can't do it. Now, I'm going to show y'all why you don't need it in your Constitution. Okay? Watch this. Watch this. Reservation of rights, Section 33. See, you got this in all your because your fathers were very smart. Watch this, guys. We're not financial resources for these clowns. Watch this. Not unless we put in the Constitution and said the people shall be financial resources for their slaves, for their servants, for their whatever. If anybody gonna be a slave, it's gonna be them. We're not freaking slaves. They're slaves to the Constitution. They are bound by it. Okay? Watch this. The enumeration in this Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny other rights retained by the what? Persons? No. By the people. The state government workers have no rights. We retain all the power. We retain all the rights. We control the freaking internal government and their freaking cops. I don't give a freak what somebody says about some dumb police power. They have no police power to take anything from you under the Constitution. Period. Period. Right? Now, I'm going to show you once again how much power you freaking have at all times. Not when they tell you you can do it. Not during the session of the legislature. Power of the people. This is in Missouri. Over the internal affairs, Constitution. You got power over the Constitution, internal affairs, and form of the government. You can change your government to be freaking Nazis tomorrow. They can't freaking control the government and the Constitution, okay? I'm just telling y'all the freaking truth. Watch this. It didn't say the government has the power. Why do you think when they arrest people, they say the people of the state of Arizona, the people of the state of Idaho? Because they're using your power to arrest people, not theirs. They don't have any power, okay? They get their power from what you let them have. And when you revoke it, it's gone. Watch this. That the people of this state have the inherent soul, not the government decision with you. You got the soul. That means just y'all. And exclusive right. Don't nobody else got that right with you. The people have the exclusive right to regulate the internal government and police thereof, and to alter and abolish their constitution and form of government whenever they may deem it necessary for their safety and what? Happiness. If they making you mad by not letting you work and putting freaking despicable freaking fake freaking laws over you, and it's making you unhappy, they tell you you can't go outside, and it's making you unhappy, you can change the Constitution and remove the police. At all times. Not just during freaking session. Not when the legislature decides to take your documents. Y'all can remove them by right at any freaking time. Any freaking time. So these people are trying to tell you that they have the power and they're the government and they can tell you what to do. And they can impose a statement until you feel like it. The only people that they can restrict at any time are those who signed up to be persons with full knowledge of what they were doing, who gave consent to be governed by working for the government as a government official. Come on now, y'all. Can y'all see this? Y'all need to share this video like crazy. Now, what I need to do is I need to ask you guys, can all of you guys see what I just said? Can all of you guys understand? Let me give you this other one again, just so you know that you can work. You got the right to work your business and do your job. You don't need the government permission as one of the people. That all constitutional government is intended to promote the general welfare of the people. That all persons have a natural right to life, liberty, and what? The pursuit of happiness and the enjoyment of the gains of their own industry. And the enjoyment of the gains of their own industry. So if everybody has the right to enjoy the gains of their own industry, which one can they say of you are not in a position to have the right, or you're not essential to work? How the freak do you let them change the conversation? You have the freaking right to make gains off of your own industry, whatever business you do. So why the freak do you think they have the right to tell you you don't have the right to make money off of the industry that you decide to work in? How will you let them do that to you? Look, that to give security to these things is the principal office of government, and that whenever government does not confer the security, it fails its chief design. When they tell you you can't work, they're doing something outside of what they were even designed for. Your forefathers designed government to make sure that nobody touch your right to be able to pursue happiness, to have liberty, to work the freaking business you want to and make your freaking money and have fun and build your freaking family. They cannot stop you from working in your business, working in whatever field you are in. They don't have the power to restrict you. Do you understand me? Are we feeling each other, y'all? Like, are y'all not feeling joyous right now? Let me know if you can still hear me. I don't even see no reactions. I'm hoping y'all still alive. I'm hoping y'all still on the video and everything is good in the hood. But guys, can we clearly see that the government does not have the power to do what they're doing? Can we clearly see that they can tell you that your job is essential? Can you clearly see that they can only restrict if they have to protect the freedom of the people. Their purpose is to protect the freedom of the people, not to make sure that you're healthy and perfect, but to protect your freedom. If you say, I'm going outside, I don't give a freak if a freaking nuclear weapon just exploded, I'm not staying in this house no more, and that's your choice, they can't freaking stop you from walking out the freaking door. Okay? What app am I using? The audio is messing up again. It might be bandwidth, guys. It might be shaking up of the all those likes and stuff. It might be causing for the audio to get a little funny. Hey, David Jose, can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Can thouest hear me? Now, y'all gonna notice when you start pushing likes, it's probably gonna freeze up the video. Okay, so guys, once again, I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna let the like stop. Let's not push likes. So, what I need you guys to do, if you can see this is true, if you can see that I've just proven to you that the government doesn't have the ability or the power vested in them from the people to take your right away to work, to control your businesses and jobs, can thou hearest me? Can thou hearest me? Speaking in King James. Okay, so if you can clearly see that the government doesn't have the power to get rid of your happiness, to take your rights away, to take your power away, that they don't control the people, they only govern the government officials that decide to work for them and consent to being governed by them, please let me know, guys. A lot of people say this stuff. So the government can control anybody but the government employees, but they never show you where, because they heard from somebody else and they never read it for themselves, so they can't show you where it is. I'm showing y'all where the freak it is. Doug Ducey, Newsom, freaking the lady over in Michigan with her crazy self, and all these other people do not have the right or the power to do these things to you. What website are you going to see the path? What website are you going to see the path of states? I don't understand what you mean. What I'm telling you guys is the people have the power to remove them. The people have the power to stop their form of government and to fire their police whenever they're getting out of control, period. So when y'all saw these people in California and Florida, in New York, picking with people and stopping people from their right to assemble, to be able to redress their grievances, they just broke the law and committed felonies against y'all. When they arrested people for standing too close to each other, what if these people were happy standing close to each other? No, the people don't file a lawsuit. The best thing to do right now is to make affidavits swearing to the fact that these people are trampling your rights. I will send it to Trump and Barr right now. This is Facebook. This website is Facebook. So the thing is that the people have a right. By right, they can remove the government at any freaking time, and they don't need permission. Okay? They don't need permission. So the thing is, guys, understand that the people are standing the freak up. The people are understanding the truth. Now let's give them some more food and some more fire to use to let these people know that we won't play with some tyrannical bullcrap. They can't close a church, period. They can't close a church. They can't stop people in their private affairs. They served Washington State yesterday with a civil class action. I would be careful with civil lawsuits, because civil lawsuits are for the civis, the family of people who work together as government. We have individual rights, so if we make torts, we need to stand on our rights as the people, and we first need to serve them with affidavits, so they can't say that they did it by good faith. They were just trying to protect the people. You send them affidavits first saying, hey, I'm one of the people. I'm in my private capacity. I'm not a government official. So you can't force me to do this, and you're harming me by doing it. And these are the bills of rights that say that you can't do it. And if you continue to do it, you agree to pay me this much. I don't give a freak about them ordering no 5 phases, no 9 phases, no 2 phases. That junk is for government officials. The people who's supposed to be shutting the freak down to protect the freedom of the people are the government officials and them that work for them. They can't, listen guys, executive orders come from a CEO to tell the people in the company what to do. If the executive order says you can't have toilet paper in all the government buildings over 2 rows at a time because you're about to collapse the power of the people to be protected, then you could do that. But you can't order us as the people to do nothing. It's for all workers. No, there is no such thing of a worker deemed non-essential. The Constitution says that everybody has the right to pursue making gain from their own industry. You can't freaking tell people their business is not essential. It is their right to live and be happy. Period. All corporation are done. Common law courts. Go, David. Affidavit of truth, always step 1. That's the thing. You drop these people affidavits, they can't reply to your affidavits, which is going to make them lose. In order for a person, which is a government official, to respond to your affidavit, they must have firsthand knowledge of the facts, and they must swear under penalty of perjury, which they don't want to do. That's why they go to corporate courts, because a corporate court is not a Article 3 court. It is a fake court. So therefore, what they will do is, yes, we're all essential. Screw what these clowns are talking about. A lady here in Minnesota is going to hold church and yard. Screw them. The order ain't for us. See, this is the thing. No, see, Lisa Barnes, one thing that you got to realize is when you make a lawsuit and you cite statute to tell that somebody's encroaching on your civil liberties, you give them the permission to say if they are or not using their jurisdiction. If you say that we're one of the people and they're trampling my rights under the Bill of Rights, that's totally different from just making a suit that goes into their jurisdiction. So you don't want that. You don't want to put stuff in a place where, like for instance, CPS court, people say, David, why don't you motion and beg the CPS court to give kids back? Because CPS court is not a freaking Article 3 court. They don't have authority to take kids in the first place. But if you beg these clowns to give your kids back, you're saying, hey, you got the power to make a decision to give me my kids back. You don't do that to kidnappers. Kidnappers take your kids. You see them with the kids. You have the power to take them back. If you freaking see that they're trampling your rights and the police are not smart enough to know that they're breaking the law, you freaking write affidavits to everybody so everybody know, hey, Scott, you write affidavits to everybody involved to give them notice that they're doing something that's not with the law, and then you teach all the people. Because when you teach all the people, what happens is that all the people now know the truth, therefore they can't trample your rights because they only trampled your rights a little bit, piece by piece, because they didn't want anybody to find out because y'all would turn on them and run them out the country. See, you see what's happening to these governors as people find out the law? People like, you can't lawfully do this to me. I found out this is against the Constitution. I'm coming and freaking protesting. I'm going outside. Y'all notice they didn't arrest everybody in California for not social distancing, all those people downtown, and they didn't get arrested? Notice the police didn't even get arrested. Yep, affidavits are very powerful. They don't want you to know the truth, though. See, this is why we have to stand together and take the time to teach each other. This is why I'm up. I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, happy to do this for y'all. Because once the people know the truth, they'll stand and remove these people. It's just the fact that the people have fear because they don't know that they have this power. So I got to tell you. So once I tell you, you're going to be like, hold on. Did this chocolate dude from the ghetto with his ashy elbows, right? Did he just come and tell me that I have the power to do this or that and show me in the freaking law? Did he just show me in the freaking law where we have the power? Oh, shucks. Oh, screw that. We ain't playing no more. See, that's my duty. My duty is to serve the people. I get cursed out for this. I get attacked for this. I had death threats for this. But the people are so important, you need to hear the truth. So I don't want to make the video too long so you can share it with everybody and teach everybody. If you believe this is the truth, if you can see it clearly, please share this in all your local yard sale groups, barter groups, trade groups, your freedom groups, your constitution groups. Get this all over the place so the people can know that they have the power to stand. Yeah, they arrested 30, but the people going to find out it's some bull and they're going to get in trouble for it. So good, let them arrest people. Look, when Martin Luther King got the truth shown, what did he do? He freaking had people who were white and kids come with him and show the fact that they were spraying them with water hose. Then they start spraying the white people with water hose. They start spraying the kids with water hose and letting dogs bite everybody. What happened? The real world got to see that the government wasn't really working for them and that they'll trample everybody if you give them the chance. Did things change? Heck yeah. So them arresting a few people, so what? You know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you got people who are so brave that they stand up and let themselves get arrested. Y'all should be sending them love gifts. Y'all should be sending them food, taking care of their family, sending them money because they're brave enough to expose that the government officials don't even wear masks. Go look on Twitter. You'll see where one big time guy made a post and showed video of them taking people and arresting them. You saw people white, black, and every other color under the sun coming in and saying, oh my gosh, they're trampling people's rights. I am so pissed. The freaking police don't have to wear masks. See, they're starting to realize the hypocrisy. The police officers don't have to wear masks. Oh, the police officers just starting drama. They ain't even do nothing wrong. So let them arrest people. Let them do what they want to do. Let them have fun punishing the people. I bet you the people stand the freak up. I bet you the people realize after hearing this video today that all that land belongs to them and that they can remove the government at any time. I bet you they get empowered and you're going to see more people down in Cali next time. I bet you they run out of enough police to stop the people from taking over. I bet you the people going to stand on their rights and tell each other that they're doing wrong. Keep playing if you want to. Listen, we ain't got to run away from confrontation. We ain't got to run away from the government arresting people. We ain't got to run away from them trampling their rights. All we need to do is know that they're breaking the law to do it. Yeah, they were released within hours. They didn't even get freaking sit in jail overnight because they know they're trampling their rights. So they're trying to tread lightly. Oh, we're going to make a show like we're arresting you and then we're going to let you go free. And y'all better understand, I don't even think Sandra RN got citations, but Sandra RN already put them on notice about rights too. Understand that Sandra RN used affidavits and did things different from everybody else. Everybody else got citations, but I hear Sandra didn't. Sandra got arrested before. They drove around and dropped her the freak off. She used affidavits to let people know what her rights are and how much she'll charge them for every day they trample her rights. I know y'all don't know about private injunctions and stuff like that in all cases, but when you have private injunctions in place where the government officials can get sued privately for freaking taking your rights from you, or they got fees they have to pay, notice they treat you, they might grab you up and act stupid for a little bit, detain you, but they won't take you and just keep you away forever and not let you go because they know there's a difference between you and other people. They know what the freak you wrote, and for some of us, our name are on certain lists that let them know when they see our name, like, oh, shucks, that ain't the one, right? That's all I'm going to say about that. So when you know your rights, you're a little bit different than other people. And so what if they throw you in jail for 5 minutes? They did that to Martin Luther King. Who gives a freak? Stop being cowards. Oh, I don't want to go to jail. Or if I fight, I might go to jail. Well, if you don't do anything, they might rape your kids, right? Like they do in CPS all the time, right? So the thing is, stop playing. Stop playing. Stop letting these people just have their way and use the law. It is on your side, okay? Your forefathers gave their lives to be able to stand up and give you this type of power and to reserve these rights for you. Don't throw their stuff in the freaking trash. That's right, Devin. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go with this video. Please share it with everybody. Give me some feedback. Let me know if it was fire. Let me know if it was good. Let me know if you think I'm a loser and you just a bad attorney and you going to just prove that what I'm saying is wrong by using the Constitution too. Let's use the same document. Use the Constitution too. Come talk some junk and say that I'm lying or I'm wrong so I can embarrass you in front of everybody. You already know how it is, all right? We use the law. We just keep it simple and basic, just like the Bible, all right? I will catch y'all later. Y'all be cool. Y'all are the people. Y'all are powerful, and y'all are worthy. I love y'all. Peace.